everyone. Welcome back to Tennis Picks and Bets here on the Mayo Media Network. I'm your host, John, at JR Tweets Tennis on Twitter. We are ready for the quarterfinals, which will begin on Tuesday, and we'll preview a couple of those matches for you in just a minute. But first, make sure to subscribe to Mayo Media Network YouTube channel. Click the bell to make sure you receive all the notifications across all sports. And then, of course, like this video and comment with your favorite play for Tuesday's action down below. You can also find us in audio form at Daily Fantasy Sports Picks and Bets, The Mix. Rate, review, subscribe at whichever podcast platform you use. All right, we'll start, and it's going to be an all-Canada kind of picks day here for the U.S. Open picks on Tennis Picks and Bets. We are going with Felix Auger-Aliassime minus 3.5 games and minus 1.5 sets, both at minus 110 against the young Carlos Alcaraz of Spain. First off, Felix Auger-Aliassime's play has really impressed me. This is now his second consecutive Grand Slam quarterfinal, and outside of a few really odd losses to the likes of Dusan Lajovic and Max Purcell, of all people, at the Olympics, he's actually been pretty good since the beginning of Wimbledon and throughout grass season as a whole. He made a final prior to Wimbledon as well, finally finding that form. And the big difference for me is something we've talked about earlier last week in the videos in rally tolerance. That's to say the ability to hit with the power he does, to have the serve he does. But in those longer rallies, he's not making nearly as many errors or committing as many unforced errors as we are used to seeing from him. And that is key, because if he can add that aspect to his game, he is going to be a top 5 to 10 player in no time. Remember, he's already made 8 finals in his career, albeit he's lost them all. But at just 20 to 21 years old, he is absolutely off to a great start in his career. He had challenger records up there with the likes of Novak Djokovic when he was younger as well. Extreme talent. All he needed to do was find some consistency, and he's done just that. On the flip side, Carlos Alcaraz has put together an admirable performance so far at the U.S. Open. He is the youngest quarterfinalist on the men's side in a long time at the U.S. Open, and honestly, the last couple of matches have taken him a little too long for my liking. The Peter Gojevchik match where, he goes up against Tsitsipas, needs 5 sets to beat one of the world's best players. Credit to him. The crowd all on his side there. And then last match against Peter Gojevchik of Germany, again, needs 5 sets, needs Gojevchik to kind of break down physically in the 4th and 5th sets to get over the line. And I'm just not sure he's got enough in the tank. He's still got to add a little bit of muscle to his body in order to compete deep into second weeks in best of 5 formats like Grand Slams. And I'm not sold he's quite there. Felix is going to be the best player he's played since Stefano Tsitsipas, who did not look great on his day and who gave him a nice high-sitting ball that he would prefer as he plays a heavier topspin game. I'm not sure he's going to have a real comfortable time against Felix. And if Felix serves the way he did against Francis Tiafoe, this one could be over rather quickly in favor of the Canadian. Next, I want to go to Leylah Annie Fernandez, the other young Canadian phenom in this draw. She's going up against Elina Svitolina, and we're getting 4 games here to back the Canadian, and the odds are just minus 101, so relatively no juice at all. We'll take that in this spot. 4.5 games, about minus 125. If you're more comfortable, buying that hook is also a possibility. I prefer not to pay, a fairly decent amount of money to buy the hook, but I'm okay with plus 4 games here at near even money. Leylah Fernandez has, again, that rally tolerance we spoke about, the ability to be consistent playing long rallies that you need against Elina Svitolina. Elina Svitolina is a good counterpuncher who likes to prolong rallies has added a bit to her serve of late. Generally, it's the more powerful players that trouble her. But in this spot, someone with equal or better rally tolerance in Fernandez, who angles extremely well, is someone who could give her fits. Not to mention, against veteran and fellow lefty Angelique Kerber in the last round, Leylah Annie Fernandez was the aggressor. She was hitting double-digit winners in just about every one of those sets and was really, really good at not just prolonging rallies, specifically on return, but when she found balls she could put away, because she can play to either wing with that forehand, she can paint lines down the line, she can rip angles cross court. If you leave a ball short, there is no pattern. She doesn't have to develop a pattern where she's going to put it away. She's always leaving you guessing, and it opens up a lot of ability for her to hit winners in those positions. So again, Leylah Annie Fernandez serving well this week. The first serve points won were really impressive in her last match as well. She's added a bit of pop to her game from what we saw even as recently as a few months ago or back at the beginning of the season. When you're younger like this, that tends to happen. Another example is Coco Gauff. In her teenage years, in the span of 7 or 8 months, you can add quite a bit of pop to your game. We've seen it with both her and now Leilani Fernandez to a lesser extent, but she's certainly not the push-centric, purely defensive player we saw at the beginning of 2021. So it is an O Canada type of day at the US Open on Tuesday. Again, make sure you like this video if you're enjoying the content. Let's see if we can get some winners heading into the second week after a fairly rough first week. Thanks for watching, guys.